Several interventions by the government appear to be leading to reduced prices of food in the market. One of such is by the Nigeria Customs Service, which commenced sale of seized food items to Nigerians nationwide, with a 25-kilogram bag of rice going for as low as 10,000 naira. The Comptroller-General of Customs, Bashir Adeniyi, said this initiative is part of their commitment to safeguarding food security in the country. Meanwhile, subsidized maize by the Kwara State government has crushed the price of the commodity in Ilorin, the state capital. A kilogram of maize, which was previously sold for 600 naira, is now being sold for 400 naira. But first, let's share the story of the sale of seized rice by the Nigeria Customs. By TVC News, Ifunaya is with you. We're right back.
Everywhere we are going to do it, we want to ensure that we get the security protocol right. Secondly,
outlining the streamlined process for interested buyers, Customs Comptroller-General Adeniyi stated that multiple registration points will open to ease the purchase process, aiming to reduce food prices and support the naira's value. He stressed the importance of the national identification number for equitable access and participation.
As part of our ongoing commitment to safeguarding the food security of Nigerians, Customs, working with other agencies, have secured the approval of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to dispose of these seized food items directly to needy Nigerians at discounted prices. The criteria for Nigerians to benefit from this initiative will include having a verifiable national identification number, NIN, and to ensure its security and integrity, Customs has put in place a number of measures. These measures encompass robust security protocols throughout the process.
Mr. Adeniyi reiterated Customs' commitment to transparency and accountability, warning of action against violators.
It is imperative that beneficiaries of this exercise understand that the items under this exercise are not to be resold. We take a strong position against any form of profiteering or exploitation of this initiative. We urge Nigerians to report any incidents of misuse or unauthorized resale of the seized food items. We are fully committed to transparency and accountability in this process, and we will not hesitate to take decisive action against any individuals or entities found to be in violation of the terms of this program.
He also addressed concerns about food security, citing a worrying trend of food items leaving for neighboring countries, threatening Nigeria's productive capacity and food security. Ifunaya Eze, TVC News, Lagos.
Great initiative there, BK. It's interesting to see how Lagos residents embraced this initiative.
Nothing illustrates the desperation that our people have for food at this time than the pictures that we saw where the customs chose to sell the grains at their disposal. Rice going for 10,000 naira for a 25 kg bag. Frankly, I expected the crowd that turned out yesterday, because what it means is for 10,000 naira you can buy a bag of rice that at the peak of the festive season was being sold in the region of 35,000. So that's about 25,000 shaved off the price back in December. I know there has been a decline in price. But for you to be able to buy a 25 kg bag of rice at 10,000 is still significant, given that at this time some are selling the 50 kg bag for as high as 65,000 naira. So our people need all the support that they can get at this time, and I'm happy that some of the measures are yielding dividends. For example, in Kano, where some people are hoarding these commodities, the government's decision to descend on such persons forced some of the others to release the commodities from their warehouses, and we can report that the price of rice in Kwara rice market in Kano, for example, has gone down, even if it is marginal. If you can save like 5,000 naira from a bag, it's still it's something to be happy about. So, and what the traders are saying is that they are confident that it will further go down. This is what we want to see. These rice bags were seized from smugglers. When you go to any custom warehouse, you see tons and tons of seized bags of rice. In the past, the former president, directed them to supply IDP camps with this contraband bags of rice. But now we have a national emergency. We need to address the rising cost of living, rising food inflation, and this is one of those steps. So no one is saying that this will solve the problem, but at least it will mitigate it if we allow it to get to the people who need it the most. Look at what the governor of Lagos State said, that they have they are expecting 100 trucks of rice. You know, they've already placed order for it. Other states are doing it too. And what this means is that even rice millers, the integrated rice millers, the big-time rice millers in our country will also benefit from patronage at this time, you know, from state governments, from federal lawmakers. You saw what Benga Daniel did. Others too are doing intervening in their own ways. I've seen the Deputy Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly also providing her constituents with palliative grains. So we want to see this continue, and the customs have to also be very careful, you know, to ensure that we do not see stampede, we do not lose lives in the process.
All right, Adeniyi, I mean, Nigerians in other parts of the country are asking that this initiative gets to them as well.
Yes, I think first of all we need to realize that the honest truth is that Nigeria has been on life support, you know, for the past years, more or less like on oxygen. And then to revive the country, you know, in fact, it needs a lot of deep thinking. Like the Minister of Information said, he said the problems are multifaceted, intertwined, and deep-rooted, requiring creative, strategic, and decisive, and multi-pronged solutions. So this is just one solution out of many. Ordinarily, we should not be, you know, rice should not even be smuggled into Nigeria in the first place, to the extent that we now start distributing the rice to Nigerians. But I think, given the situation that we find ourselves, it is a necessary intervention. If we leave the bags of rice, probably some of them will disappear. Probably some of them will be sold by, unscrupulous elements. So I think for the government to have thought that, you know, they should sell to people, I think it's a very, very, strategic intervention. However, I'm happy that there are federal government, federal government is written on it so that nobody can take it to the market to go and sell. and they are not selling more than one bag to one person. Though people can get home and remove it and sell, but at least you can take only one bag home. But I think one will advise that the customs, they should also create a kind of a human scale of preference. I believe they should give preference to pregnant women, because I saw some pictures and I saw some pregnant women on that queue. I think they should be identified. If somebody can be pregnant and still struggle to come and buy that bag, or you can imagine what that family is going through. So I think they should give priority to pregnant women. They should give priority to nursing mothers. Some people they went to that place with little children strapped, then they should give priority to old people. If somebody about 70-something years old on that queue looking for jobs, so I think they can have about 2 or 3 lines to give priority to. Well, it's not something that is sustainable, because we don't expect the source to continue, which is a small good rice. So we need to create a long-term solution. And we don't have any reason to say that we cannot produce rice. It's just about 105 to 150 days before you grow rice. And we have arable. Look at Niger State, for instance. 85% of the land is arable. There are a lot of places where you can plant rice. So what is the excuse since 1999 that we have democracy, that we cannot produce rice? Because rice is one of the most important state food in every family. In fact, if you eat rice morning, afternoon, you are okay. So we need to think, and we are just talking about 105 to 150 days. Yam, about 5 months. Tomatoes, vegetables, between 30 to 60 days. So we have the land. So what is the problem? Even when you are talking about cow, 2 years. You have, so our people should begin to think beyond the body. There's a need for radical intervention. Local government, 774, what are they doing with the little funds they have been giving? States, what are they doing with the 2 billion that have been given to each state? We should earmark aspect of these funds to agriculture. The senators and House of Rep that gets some millions of naira for constituent allowance, they should divert it to agriculture. Because once you can resolve the problem of food, I can tell you that other problems, are minor. So I think this what they have done is good, but we need to think, a kind of long-term plan, so that we don't continue to give palliatives as a nation. Politics of palliatives. We need to create a policy that can make sure that we can sustain, feed ourselves.
Right, so Bikio, you heard Adeniyi. What exactly do you think is the problem?
Talking about food prices, there are all kinds of problems. For example, because our currency is weak when compared against, when compared to the currency that our neighbors use, the CFA, France, CFA, is stronger than our currency now. This is the first time that we are confronted by this reality. It's always been a weak currency. We used to mock it, that, you can actually be a millionaire in CFA and not be a millionaire in naira. Those were the years in which our currency was very strong. But today, the CFA is stronger than our currency. We are now seeing more and more middlemen to farmers taking our produce across the border. This is dangerous for our nation, because it threatens our food security. If what we produce here, a good chunk of it gets taken across the border, there is no way it won't trigger high prices here, because it's a question of demand and supply. So if we can stop the hemorrhaging of our grains to other countries, to our neighbors or neighboring countries, we will be able to keep prices stable. It's been certainly worsened by the activities of greedy middlemen who are going to farms to buy up produce, hoard the produce, or in some cases take the produce across the border. You heard during our interview with the governor of Lagos State, he said the rice paddy that they even need for the Mota rice mill, which is the biggest in West Africa. They can't find paddy. He's done his best, he's tried his best to get paddy. It's not available. One, we are certainly not producing enough. Insecurity is a factor. Insecurity is a factor in agri production. We are not producing enough, and what is available, you can see that other people need it at this time. So we need to produce more. We need to produce more. In the 80s when we were growing up, in the 70s and 80s when we were growing up, Nigeria was reputed for agri production. We have a lot of cash crops, and we were among the best in the world. But today, because of petrodollar, nobody seems to be interested in agriculture anymore. And the population of farmers is an aging one. We need to come up with practices, agri practices, and incentives for younger people to take to farming, because the methods that we use now are not attractive to young people. So the population, the farming population in our country is an aging one. And that's why it's all the reasons we are not producing.
All right.
Enough.
Gentlemen, let's take our first caller. Good afternoon to you, Salam. Please go ahead with your contribution. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Abdulsalam Ayodele from Kaduna.
All right.
The first question I want to ask is that Kaduna, where side they will sell the rice. That's the first question I want to ask. And then my contribution is that the government, they need to look at the security of this country. Nobody says people don't want to go farm, but because the security of this country is too much, no security. If you want to go farm, they can kidnap. That's why people don't go farm. We're ready to farm during Buhari time, during the first tenure. And so we go farm. All of us go farm, but the security send us back. Make them take care of the security of this country.
Thank you so much, Salam.
That's my contribution.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So I don't want us to forget the second part of this report, which says subsidized maize by the Kwara State government has crushed the price of the commodity in Ilorin, the state capital.
Oh,
Kilogram of maize, which was previously sold for 600, is now being sold for 400.
Oh, it's a normal thing. If you are able to get subsidized grains through the government channel, you are not going to waste your money to go and buy. So the demand for the ones sold in the market will definitely come down. And when demand comes down, they will be forced to reduce the price. In any case, a lot of them are profiteering. They are making much more money than they should make. And that's why many Nigerians are saying, are we simply going to resign to fate? We must do something about the reckless increase in prices of commodities, just like what those cement manufacturers did. Now we are regretting that in our country we have just 3 major cement producers. We then need to encourage a lot more business people to come into the business so that they do not hold us to ransom, because it's clear to move cement price from 5,500 to 15,000. It is elevated profiteering. I mean, it has to be addressed. So, and there are many ways we can open the border to imported cement, which is cheaper than their own. After all, some of them are actually doing the bargain. It's cheaper than their own, and to crash the price. The Minister of Housing warned them that we could open the borders and your cement prices will crash. And if it crashes, you people will struggle against the imported brands. When you struggle against the imported brands, your businesses will be in jeopardy. So at this time, we need patriots. People who put Nigeria first. People who put the welfare of Nigerians first. Not simply people who want to make money. But when you look at the input for cement, for example, everything, they get everything from within the borders of our country. So what is the, how is the increase in the exchange rates? How does it affect cement? That you will now move the price. Then after the meeting, they say, okay, we could do between 7,000 to 8,000. depending on the location. I mean it's wrong.
Adeniyi, what's your final take on this before we move on?
Well, I think we are talking about the reduction of prices, but we should also not forget that we have a price control board in Nigeria that has been existing since the 1970s. So we need to strengthen that institution. And there was a reason why that price control board was put in place. People have been saying government has no right to fix price, but we fix prices of petroleum and gas and some other products. So, and I know many other countries have price control board. If they do their if they do their functions effectively, that was why Falana went to court and a lot of people didn't understand, because it was just merely telling government to let that board perform its functions. So I think if the government fails to intervene, people will sell just whatever they like at whatever price. So there must be some level of intervention. I think what is going on now by the state and federal government is a very good thing, All
right, thank you so much. Let's move on. It's a crunchy economic time in Nigeria, and citizens are not the only